Hey there, Chef D Malfi here, and welcome to Plant-Based Made Easy. Happy Monday to you, wherever I'm finding you. Today's an exciting day back in the kitchen. It's always an exciting day to be in the kitchen because we are making breakfast, one of my absolute favorite meals of the day. I would definitely say breakfast is my favorite meal of the day, and snacking would be the second thing that I love to do throughout the day. Yes, that's my MO. What's yours? I want to hear from you throughout this recipe, throughout this episode, and tell me, how has it been going for you cooking plant-based? If you're new to this community, I want to say hello and welcome to you specifically. And I want to share that we're actually cooking this recipe that comes right from my September cookbook. This is my Plant-Based Made Easy September issue 2. And I write a new cookbook every single month. And we follow along and cook all of the recipes or most of the recipes within the cookbook. And today we are on week 4, day 1. We are making the Greek tofu scramble. I love making scrambles. When I was an animal eater just about several months ago, when I used to eat animal products, I would love eggs, and I would love scrambled eggs and omelets and eggs of all different types. And one of the things that was preventing me from going plant-based is feeling like I could never have a big breakfast again. I could never have pancakes and French toast and scrambled eggs and eggs of all different types, because eggs are kind of the staple with American breakfasts and breakfasts in general for people that eat animal products, right? Well, you can totally have delicious plant-based and vegan delights, classic comforting breakfast foods, just like the ones I named, but make them totally healthy. All right, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. I'm going to show you how to make a scramble. We're going to make this Greek Mediterranean style with adding a couple different delicious veggies. So let's get into it. I'll start by telling you what we're going to add. We're going to start with a yellow onion. And then I'm going to add some other things. Some fresh garlic is going to make this really savory. And then some delicious rainbow peppers. Now, I'll do a split screen so that you guys can follow along with me. I have my produce basket here. And then you can top it off with all different types of things. I'm going to use maybe a little avocado. I'm also going to use some sun-dried tomatoes, but you can use fresh tomatoes. So let's get into it and we'll talk through it, all right? And you guys, I'm riding solo today. I'm actually controlling everything here. So if you need links or if you have a question, give me a second because I can see everyone that's here, but I'm going to be cooking and watching the screen at the same time. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is I actually want to get my onion prepared. I want to dice it as small as possible. So I'm going to use a yellow onion, and I'm just going to slice it top and bottom off. You may have seen me do this before. Slice it in half, and I'm going to use it's like a small yellow onion, all right? Don't use a huge jumbo yellow onion, and if you only have a big one, only use half. Take off the first layer, peel it back. All this can go right into the compost. You can use scallion, you can use red onion, it doesn't really matter. Whatever you have, just use some sort of an onion. You can even use shallot. Use any onion that you have to give it that onion flavor. Super important. All right, so here's how I'm going to dice this. I'm going to take these 2 halves, I'll do it one at a time, put one half down and put your palm right over it. And then using your chef's knife, find the side of the onion that doesn't have the root. So I can see the root is intact right here. You can see on the overhead cam, it's a little bit hard to see, but you can see if you look at it, you want to actually start on the other side, all right? And you want to make these planks go all the way through, but not to the end, and just stop right there. Do it again. And I'm going to try to do this as fast as possible so that I don't have a crying attack. Remember that when that happened? Oh no, if that happens today, I'm kind of alone. All right, so one of the ways I'm going to prevent that from happening as much as possible, I'm going to get my pan on right now. I want to get it nice and hot, and then throw in some fat. I'm going to use a little extra virgin olive oil, but you can use plant-based butter, about a tablespoon or so. And then throw your diced onion right in. You should have these diced pieces evenly diced, really quickly done. Pretty cool trick, right? All right, I'll throw that in, and then I'll do the other side. Not the root side, the other side. Make my planks. Give it a dice the other way, and then first position, back again. And you have these diced pieces. Cool, throw this right in. And I'm really gonna let the onion cook up first. I wanna add the onion first before I add the garlic. Oftentimes people think garlic goes first, but the thing is garlic can burn really easily, and we don't want it to burn. We want it to actually stay nice and kind of like golden brown and delicious. So we'll saute the onion down first, then we'll add the garlic. So let's prepare the garlic now as this onion starts to cook up. I have a whole head of garlic. I'm just going to grab 2 cloves, 2 big cloves, and I'm going to use a garlic press because I think it's easier. You can use the frozen garlic. If you've never seen it, let me show you. This is the frozen garlic that I love so much. It comes, that's the ginger. Do I have the garlic? Okay, I don't have the garlic, but it looks just like this. And they're little tiny cloves, and they're one cube equals 1 clove. We're going to use fresh though today because I happen to have it. My grocery store was out of garlic the other day. I was like, what? How is that possible? All right, so I'm going to give this garlic a big whack. And what this is doing is it's actually releasing this antiviral, antibacterial property within the garlic. And when we whack it like that, that's a good thing. We sort of want to activate all of these really good health properties within. And this chemical that we're activating is called allicin. And it makes it so healthy for us. But you have to whack it or you have to add heat to it. And the best way to do it and the most potent way to do it is just give it a whack. So I have it, this is a couple big cloves, but I'm going to throw it right into my garlic press. I'll probably only do 1 at a time. And just kind of let it sit there. Now, I hear this onion is working hard. Oh, here it is. I want to go ahead and give it a mix. So one of the things I talk about, in order to make this super flavorful, is we want to season as we go. So that means with every ingredient that I add to my pan, I'm going to add a little S&P, salt and pepper. Now, if you're whole food plant-based and you don't do salt, that's okay. You can use your favorite salt substitute. Let me grab a little bit of pepper, and I have some salt right here. And I love freshly ground black pepper. I don't like pre-ground black pepper because it's not very flavorful. And then a little sea salt. Add right in. Cool, and I think now is a really great time to go ahead and squeeze the garlic in. Let's squeeze it right in, right from the garlic press. I'm going to do a full screen. Excuse me. There we go. And it comes really, it comes easily right out of the garlic press. You can also use garlic powder if that's all you had. I always use garlic powder when I'm in a rut and I don't have any fresh garlic or frozen garlic. Garlic powder is great. All right. And this is what's going to really make it very Greek, right? Lots of garlic, lots of onions. And the next Greek ingredient is we'll add bell peppers. So I'm going to use some rainbow bells. I absolutely love bell peppers because they're sweet, not hot or spicy. They're not spicy at all. They're absolutely sweet and delicious and juicy. And I love these beautiful colors. These are gorgeous mini bells. So they're actually picked before they're fully mature. They're really, really great. And I often talk about removing the seeds and the stems, but when they're small like this, you really don't have to. Because it's a smaller mini version of the full-blown pepper, it's going to be sweet, even the ribs and the stems. So I'm just going to give this a slice. I want really thin slices of bell pepper. You can use any color that you want. I recently did a corporate wellness workshop, and I was talking to my colleague who gave us the information on which of the bell pepper colors are the most healthy. Can you guess? Which of the bell pepper colors? Is it the green, the orange, the yellow, or the red? If you have a guess, let me know. And I found out that there actually is a right answer. There's actually more nutrients in some of the more colorful peppers. And the one that has the most nutrients, or that's more the nutrient dense of all of the colorful bell peppers, is actually the orange. The orange and the yellow have more of the micronutrients than the green, which is kind of interesting. That's probably why the green bell pepper is kind of less expensive. It's always less expensive than the colorful bell peppers. You ever notice that? And then the red and the yellow are expensive, and then the orange is like the most expensive. Hi, Lindsay, and hi, Christina. Yeah, you're right. Christina, you got it. It's definitely the yellow or the orange. In nature, when ingredients, especially produce, is very colorful and very pigmented, It's very full of antioxidants. So that's what's going to give us all these great antioxidants and help us to feel our best. That's why plant-based eating is so great, because the food does it for us. The food actually helps us to function well and to feel our best. All right, so our bell peppers are in, our onions are in, our garlic is in. We'll do a split screen now. All right. And I want to now add some sort of squash. You can use zucchini, or I think I'm going to use a summer squash. Last Thursday, we did our snack recipe. We did these beautiful salt and vinegar summer squash chips with a yogurt dip. It was really, really cool. I like that recipe a lot. It didn't turn out as crispy as I wanted, but it was super flavorful. So I have half of a yellow squash, and I'm going to use this. Now, the cool thing about yellow squash is it's so tender, I don't have to remove any of these seeds. These seeds are really great. They're easy to digest, and they're very good for us. Hi, Sita. Hi, Diane. Yeah, Diane, you're right. It's the red, it's the yellow, it's the orange. All right, so I'm just going to dice these into, again, thin slices, thin bits or slices. It doesn't matter. You can make them big pieces, small pieces. Just make sure they're thin. That's the most important. You want one small summer squash or zucchini. And I'm keeping the skin on. I'm not even removing the skin, nothing. All right, we have our zucchini pieces, or squash in this case. I'm going to throw that right in. Is there really a big difference between zucchini and summer squash? I feel like obviously it's a completely different plant. It's of the same family, but they certainly act the same when you're cooking. All right, so I'm giving this a mix. Now I've added a few ingredients. What do we need to do? We have to season as we go. That's going to take your dish from being good to great. I promise. It's a chef's trick, and it does work. Now, I'm not suggesting that you over-season, and I'm not suggesting that you overly salt, especially if you're watching your salt. But a little tiny bit with each layer of ingredients that you add is going to add a big difference. It's going to make a big difference in the long run. Take a sip of water. It's hot in here. Okay, so this recipe is vegan. It's vegetarian. It's plant-based. It's egg-free. It's dairy-free. So how is it egg-free? Well, we aren't using eggs, you guys. Instead of eggs, we're going to use sprouted organic tofu. You can use any tofu that you want, and here's how we're going to prepare it. I'll show you right now. So I have this organic sprouted tofu. It happens to be my favorite, but you can use, like I said, any tofu that you want. It doesn't truly matter. The only thing that I want to recommend to you is please do yourself a good service and buy organic tofu. If you live here in the United States, look for that USDA organic label. And if you live in other parts of the world, try to find some organic tofu. It's going to make a big difference in terms of what becomes bioavailable in the gut microbiome. We really want to make sure that we're not getting GMO'd tofu into our daily diet. So here's a 15 and a half ounce 2 bricks. I'm going to just need one. I need about 8 ounces of this. So I'm going to cut it. I like that Trader Joe's has 2 in 1 because I can never eat 15 and a half ounces all in one sitting. I can really only enjoy one. And 8 ounces is plenty. It's actually enough for 2 people. But if you're hungry, you can eat the whole thing. So I'm just going to open it up by taking my chef's knife, and I'm going to let it drain out. So I'll show you here. You can see in the overhead, do you see this water? This is the liquid from the tofu. You want to drain it all out and then remove the block. Now this is going to be a perfect amount of your daily recommended legumes, beans for the day because it's soybean. I'm going to place it down, and we've now removed it from the water. We don't need to press it or anything for the scramble. You certainly can if you had extra time, but you do not need to. All right. So let me just come back to the veggies. It's really important that the veggies are nice and cooked before we add tofu because that's sort of the last ingredient. All right, all right, all right. Perfect. Now I'm going to add the tofu. It's important to take your tofu and do this right over your pan. I'm going to do a full screen so that you can actually see what I'm doing. You can see it better when I do it this way. So take your tofu, and I like to cut it in half so that I'm only working with 1/2. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, I think I'm going to need to do it on my board so you can see. Can you see it okay this way? I'm going to crumble it up. I'm literally just using my fingers, and I'm crumbling it up. I know you can see it. That's perfect. There we go. And I'm just kind of using my index finger and my thumb to make it little tiny like curdles, to crumble it up into little bits, especially the corners. Get those corners really great. If you get the corners great, you really cannot tell that this is not eggs. Now I'm doing the other half. Perfect. Some got away. I'm catching you. Perfect. Great. All right. So tofu is down. Now we want to season with our delicious Greek scramble seasoning blend. I'm going to use a blend of ground cumin, which I have here. Cumin, however you were raised saying it is right. This stuff is so great. It gives you a nice warmth. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of this. Perfect. Maybe a little bit more. Traditionally, you want to use turmeric, but today I'm mixing it up. I'm using cumin. I'm going to use a little smoked paprika as well. This is definitely going to give you that Greek flavor and that smoky flavor. It's really great. I'm going to open this and add, it's really up to you. I think I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of this. That's what's written in my recipe. And this gives it a nice kind of red color. That's perfect. Give this a mix. Perfect. Now I want just a couple more flavor agents. I think I'm going to add a little bit of soy sauce. The soy sauce is going to add an umami flavor. Oh, I couldn't say that. An umami flavor that's really, really, really great. And so I'm going to add a little bit now. You can use regular reduced sodium soy sauce, which I have here. It says reduced sodium right on the bottle. Or I brought another option for you in case you can't find this soy sauce or you need something that's gluten-free. Try the liquid aminos. This stuff is really great. It's a soy sauce alternative. It's very salty, so use sparingly, but it's really good. I love it a lot. I'm going to actually use the soy sauce because I have it today, but sometimes I use these ingredients interchangeably. And I'm just going to use a tablespoon. That's it. That's really all you need. Cool. I'm now going to add just a couple sun-dried tomatoes. I'm going to use this julienne sliced sun-dried tomatoes packed in oil. Open that up. And I like to use a slotted spoon because, like I said, they are packed in oil. Really, really good stuff. And I'm just going to use, that's like 8 or so, right? Like not very many. This is literally just going to give you like a nice flavor and a chewiness too. It's nice. Throw those right in. Now, when the sun-dried tomatoes are packed in oil like this, you do want to store them in the refrigerator, all right? So this goes right into the fridge. I'll put that in now. And then how about some olives? Are you guys olive fans? I know my husband Danny hates olives. I am a huge fan though. I think I'm going to add just a few black olives, which I have in the can. And look, I found these extra large black olives, totally pitted. I'm going to use them. Why not? Just need a few of these. I'll give them a chop as well. Perfect. Throw them right in. And then last but certainly not least, you want some fresh herbs. Now, I'm going to use a little basil, but you can use anything that you want. I actually will keep my basil in a jar of water just like this because it is a soft herb. Any of the soft herbs want to be kept just like fresh cut flowers. So think basil, parsley, cilantro, tarragon, chervil, all of these really soft herbs. Keep them in a vase or a glass of water in your refrigerator. And I'm telling you, they're going to stay super duper fresh for like 5-6 weeks. It depends on how often you use it and take it out, but it does stay fresh for a very long time. So I'm going to grab some of this basil. This looks so good. And that's it. And I can throw the basil on off the heat. Just give this a quick run with your knife. Throw this over. Yum. You could use a little dried herbs if you wanted. I might use a little non-use oregano. I love oregano. It's very Greek. So, and that's it, you guys. Let me just give this a quick mix to make sure the herbs and the basil and the olives and the sun-dried tomatoes are all nicely playing with one another. I'm going to clear my decks and I'm going to plate it up. So I said that you can garnish with whatever you want. I think I'm going to garnish with a little California avocado. This is a Hass avocado. It's nice and ripe and perfect. It's wet. I'm going to just take the condensation right off, run my knife around it, and I'll just use half. Look how perfect that is. Just going to use half here, and I'm going to just slice a few pieces. Great. And I might just serve that on the side of my plate, like you would see at a restaurant, right? And they garnish the side with like an orange or an avocado or some strawberries. Give it a nice fan. Perfect. Oops, we lost one. There we go. Okay, that piece does not want to play. That's going in my belly all by itself. And then we'll plate up the scramble. So now that it's had a second to just kind of like come down, it's not like piping hot, right? It's just had like a minute or two. I'm gonna fill up my plate. This is gonna give you such a great satiated feeling after you eat this breakfast. And this is so savory that truly you could eat it any time of day. It doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter at all. It's perfect as a lunch. It's perfect as a breakfast. Ah, yummy. I see some basil. I think I need another piece of basil, just like a little floret, just to make sure it looks great. I'm going to do the old chef's trick. See some avocado on the side. And there you have it. Greek tofu scramble. This is so great. Yum. This looks like a perfect breakfast for me. It's got a ton of savory umami flavor from the sun-dried tomatoes, from the soy sauce. I think I need to taste a little bit. You gotta grab a fork. Treat yourself. Even if it's Monday, enjoy your breakfast or your lunch. Any meal, sit down, make yourself some food, and then sit down with it and savor it. Sometimes I have to remind myself to do this because I'm constantly just cooking for the next thing or the next thing or the next person. But the truth is, there's nothing like giving your food a little gratitude. We thank you, God, and then giving it a little taste. Cheers. That's killer. Yummy. That's so good. You guys try this recipe. I promise you are not going to regret it, and make it your own. There's so much that you can do to make this one your own. Add any produce, any heat level or spiciness. This one's really, really good. Again, if you want this recipe, it comes right from my Plant-Based Made Easy September cookbook. That's this one. It's a downloadable cookbook, you guys, but I print it and I have a little copy in front of me every day. And a lot of people in our community have printed it as well. So enjoy this. Please hop on our Facebook group, Plant-Based Made Easy. We are 1,300 people and growing from all over the world. I am so grateful for your support. I'm so glad that you're getting value out of these videos, and keep coming back. Tomorrow we have another wonderful recipe in store for you. I'm making curried lentil sandwiches. Now think of tuna salad, but instead of tuna salad, we're making a delicious lentil salad, and we're flavoring it up with a delicious spice of curry. So I hope to see you there tomorrow. And if not, join me at the rest of the week at any time, 12 p.m. Pacific, and I'll see you next time. Ciao for now. Bye, guys.